In this video, I'm going to share with you my #1 secret for keeping lash adhesive fresh longer. This secret is literally going to save you hundreds of dollars a year on buying these little bottles that cost around $80 a bottle. This is Lash Intensive. In this mentoring, I'm going to share with you a little piece of Lash Intensive where I discuss with you my secret for keeping lash adhesive fresh longer. Here we go.
Like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell.
Mixing and shaking adhesive. For peak performance, we are told the adhesive needs to be vigorously shaken before use. During the lash volume certification class I took a few years back, the instructor asked the students how they shake their adhesive bottles. The students who said they use a tool that vigorously shakes their adhesive, they were praised. And when I mentioned my success with using a watch winder, the instructor scolded me and then went on to make comments throughout the class about how he fails people for not taking proper care of their adhesive. And he inspected our bottles before each use, and we better not have any adhesive, the tip of the adhesive bottle. I forgot what that's called. Polymerization begins with adhesive exposure to air. The container for the superglue, cyanoacrylate, doesn't leave room to shake before use, so why are we vigorously shaking the cyanoacrylate adhesive? You know, the superglue like crazy glue? That's what I'm referring to. Doesn't shaking the liquid cause air to get into the ingredients, thus causing bubbles that come out when dispensed into the adhesive tray? After reading about cyanoacrylates and the sensitive nature of this amazing glue, an idea came to mind. So in class, whenever I would shake my adhesive vigorously, like they said, I would dispense my glue and there would be bubbles. Now, if you have air in your bottle and you're shaking it and you're mixing it in the glue, I noticed that it makes the glue become thicker quicker, and I would have to replace my bottle before the bottle was completely used. One day working on a client, a watch winder came to mind. My husband had a watch winder for his watch. And what a watch winder does is it gently rotates watches to keep the main spring wound. What if the adhesive can be secured to the watch winder and the motion of the winder gently folds the ingredients of the adhesive every hour? Could this eliminate air bubbles? If air bubbles are eliminated, could this keep adhesive viscosity from thickening? For the past 4 years, my adhesive bottles have been stored inside a watch winder, and the results exceeded my expectations. Every bottle of the adhesive stayed fresh, and the viscosity remained unchanged until the last drop inside the bottle. This substantially reduced the adhesive expenses and proved especially useful with using multiple types of adhesive. I have the volume adhesive, which is this black one, and the medical grade adhesive. So it's necessary to use adhesive formulated for classic lashes and adhesive formulated for volume lashes. Having multiple adhesives has increased costs. Before the watch winder, the adhesive became too thick and difficult to work with, so the bottle was replaced about every 4 weeks with adhesive remaining in the bottle. Actually, it would probably be around 3 weeks because the adhesive would just get too thick and goopy to work with. As you can see, I have a lot of experience with adhesive. For me, it's important to get every ounce of adhesive out of the bottle, but I can't use the entire bottle if my adhesive thickens up. Because if it thickens up, what happens is the adhesive will not stick to the lash, will not have good attachment. These are the adhesives that I use in my studio. As you can see, I have 3 that I'm currently using. This one here is Extremes Volume Adhesive. The date on this one says April 5th of 23. This adhesive is Extremes Flex Fusion, which is their medical grade. I started using this one on April 5th of 23. Now this is one I just started using on May 19th, 23. I'm not having any issues with these adhesives. These adhesives right here still have their viscosity. When you're shaking, I'm going to use these old ones here. When you're shaking vigorously like this, you're putting air into the adhesive. What I discovered is when you're putting air into the adhesive, what it causes is air bubbles, and air bubbles inside adhesive begins to thicken it up over time. These are still working perfectly. I don't have any issues, and clients still have perfect retention. The watch winder is folding the liquids together. It's not vigorously shaking, so there's not a bunch of air being introduced. This rotates, I think it's every 10 minutes. The adhesive sediments don't have time to just sit at the bottom of the bottle. They are constantly in motion. Now this one here is the first one I purchased back in, I think it was April of 2018. And this one stopped working last year. This is the one I replaced it with. If you get a watch winder that looks like this, see there's a gap here, that's not gonna really hold them, so your adhesive can fall out the side. This stretch band used to be taut because I've used 2 and 3 different types of adhesives depending on the client and the lashes used. It stretched out. So now I have to keep 3 of them in here so that the bottles stay tight and secure. This holds 3, and there's nothing on the side where the bottles can escape. As you can see, these bottles stay nice and secure inside this winder, and they won't fly out as the adhesives are spinning. This is my bonus tip. If you're in a humid location, maybe the other option for you is to get a humidor, one that is large enough where you can put your watch winder inside the humidor, or maybe just take this pack that came with my most recent adhesive purchase, put it inside here, and then close it up. Maybe you could put 1 or 2 packs in there, and that could keep the moisture content inside this container at a minimum. There are a lot of watch winders out there on the market. If you're not sure which one to buy and you just like to purchase the one that I've been using, I will link it below.
What did you think of that? I never would have thought that a watch winder would save me hundreds of dollars a year in lash adhesive expenses. If your adhesive has thickened up, that may be causing some retention issues with your client. In the next video, I'm going to share with you how buying the wrong bed for your lash studio can cost you your bottom line. I'm going to share with you the pros and cons for different types of beds so that you can make an educated decision as to which bed would work best for you and your clientele and fit within your budget. Here we go.